everybody. Welcome back to the sophomore season of the Rockwall Sportscenter Yellowjacket Update. I'm Chris Curtis here, joined by the voice of the Yellowjackets, Billy Quinton. Billy, welcome back. Last time you and I talked on camera, it was a cold and rainy, drizzly November morning, but the sun has risen again. We are back. It's hot. It's steamy. It's football season in Texas again.
Oh, man, what a horrible summer when there's no football. I don't care what happens. And so, yeah, it's football season again. We're here at the stadium. I love being here. I love that we kick it off in about a week and take on Denton Ryan here, and then we're ready to roll.
Let's talk about, let's reminisce a little bit about last year. 10-0 district season, 3 rounds in the playoffs. It was a great team. You had a lot of D1 talent. Xavier Castile might be one of the best players I've ever seen. Chris Warren, and we can go on and on and on. It's a new year, new era for Rockwall football. A lot of these guys were excited about last year. I've talked to a few of the seniors this year. They loved last year, but they kind of want to take away that emblem of last year and start their new journey here. Kind of talk about what you've kind of seen from this team in the offseason.
Yeah, it's their team now, and every year you have that. At one point, Chris and Xavier, it was their team. They took over, but and now they're out there playing on Saturdays, and it looks like we'll see a lot of them from at UT and at SMU. And don't forget about Jalen Beasley, also over at Louisiana Monroe. So a lot of talent leaving Rockwall, but a lot of talent coming in. A lot of sophomores that are going to be playing, putting a lot of time in. And I know Coach Webb's excited about it. It's always good to have some youth, but a lot of key positions with guys returning, especially Will Reed at quarterback, his 3rd season starting behind the center, and then on the defensive side, Luke Terman in his 4th year starting. He started as a freshman varsity. It's 4th year, can't believe it. Feel like he's been here since.
Be sure he's a senior because he's a big boy.
He is big, and he's been here since '84. I figured out. So, but no, and Luke's back, and that defense is going to be even better than it was last year, as it improved last year. So, very excited about this season and what's in store for the Yellowjackets.
Talked Rockwall football last year, it was the offense. They were just like firepower waiting to happen. This year, I've heard a lot of things about this defense that might be, the key to this team this year. Kind of talk about that defense side of the ball, what we're going to see. You mentioned a lot of sophomores coming in from that 9-1 freshman team last year. They're going to contribute a lot this year.
They are, and you're going to have people like, let's go to the defensive line. You have Kenneth Tobias, who just played outstanding last year, all district, all that. And, of course, we just mentioned Luke Terman. And you got Barron that's coming in that will be playing on the line. So the defensive line is going to be very sturdy, even though they lose Jalen Beasley. Very good defensive line. Secondary improved so much as the season went along. And you got James Taylor back there. McNeely will be back there. And then I think Tamba Joanna, who we saw a lot at running back last year, and he'll still be at running back, but Joanna's really going to be on defense a lot more this year. One thing that's going to help the Yellowjackets was, and we saw this in that last playoff game against Westfield, a lot of players were going both ways. And you go 3 deep in the playoffs playing a team like, Westfield, you start getting more out. And so when you have your running backs also jumping over and playing defensive back, it's tough. So we're going to have a lot of players that will really be concentrating more on defense and probably not going across as much as they were.
A lot of talk around the town has been Rockwall, 10-0 last year. They had a tremendous season, and they lost all this talent. Is this team still going to be competitive? I know they've been favored in many polls in the district. Is this team still going to be a competitive force in the district this year?
Yeah, definitely. As you said, they're picked to win district, and we all know that preseason predictions, they're unstable, and you just don't know. My philosophy on this is you have to have a solid quarterback no matter what, and we got Will Reed. Will is maybe the most underrated. He gets hardly any attention, especially for the quarterback position, because he's just solid. He rarely makes mistakes. He makes the right reads. He gets the ball to these outstanding players that make plays, but it has to get there. And so when you have a player like Will Reed in there running the show for the 3rd time as a starter, that's where I think the core of this team is, and then you just start expanding. The offensive line has some new kids in there, got some sophomores coming up. Justin Childers be at center at some point, and also you got some kids coming back with Smalley and Sargent. Austin Sargent's in there, and so you got those kind of kids that'll be the anchor of the line. We didn't talk about them, but that's very important. You don't go anywhere without that line. And so I think that Rockwall will be a force to be reckoned with. I don't think they're going to have a problem scoring points. We do have some tough teams ahead of us in district. Saxe, Rowlett, Tyler Lee, those teams are always tough, or at least they have been the last couple of years. They gave us fights last year. And don't forget about Garland, always difficult. So I believe they will win district. I don't know if we go 10-0 this year, but it's going to be a good season, and they should come out.
Of course, the journey begins here at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium on August 28th against Denton Ryan. Kind of talk to me a little bit about Denton Ryan, what you see in them. I know it's always a tough tough task to play a Denton ISD school. Kind of talk about what we got going here. It's a great challenge for Rockwall right off the bat.
It's a huge challenge. Thank you that we have them here at home. We played them at Denton Ryan last year. One of the closer games. Now, it was the first game for Rockwall and Ryan. Ryan has the freshman quarterback last year. He's got a year under his belt. Reminds me of a lot when Will Reed started as a sophomore and was inexperienced against Naaman Forest that very first game a couple years ago. Then we played Naaman Forest again in the playoffs. He's a completely different quarterback, completely different team, much better, and we whip up on Naaman Forest. Kind of same thing here with Denton Ryan. They always have talent. They're going to be solid. They can move the ball. They play good defense. And now you've got this kid that's going to have some experience under his belt. It's going to be a challenge for Rockwall. You have this non-district schedule of Ryan, then you have Trinity, and then you have Horn. Those are three outstanding teams. And that's pretty good preseason there before district starts. So Rockwall's really going to know what they're made of. You hope you get through it without some major injuries, and then you can start getting ready for district, as we already talked about tonight.
Of course, August 28th, first and foremost. You have one more week of the bowl this Friday night, your last Friday night off. Any big plans this Friday?
Probably watch football. You know, we're going to see the scrimmage. We got the scrimmage Friday morning against Hebron, and so we'll check that out. And then I'm going to, say goodbye to the family because I won't see them for hopefully about the next 15, 16 weeks. But every Friday night we're going to be there. And we're going to have fun as usual. This is our 9th year together, me and David Sweet and Brian Williams. We love it. I love everybody listening. Thank you all for all the nice words. And we can't wait to get started again.
All right, it's www.rockwallisd.com on Friday nights. You can check out Billy and his crew. Once again, thank you to Rockwall Sportscenter for sponsoring the show once again this year. And, of course, we will see you on August 28th right here at Wilkinson Sanders. Have a great week, everybody.